We'll continue just reading Federalist number 10. This is part 8. Sorry if sometimes this phone camera, the memory goes low and does crazy things. Sometimes I'm not even aware that the Facebook Messenger has been somehow either I've installed it or I press the button that it gets installed, takes all the memory, and I have to go back and reset it. So that's one of the fun parts of having an inexpensive phone camera. But I'm getting great joy of being with you and sharing what little I know, and hopefully I can encourage you to learn more about federalism, follow through with our plan, about learning what the experience of federal countries have been, so we can unite one day under a federal system, and instead of buying war machineries, artillery, and killing and maiming and bombing the hell out of each other, we can actually put it to good use and allow every human being to flourish, keep our planet safe and beautiful for the next generations. So let me go back to the paragraph that starts with the effect of the first difference is, on the one hand, to refine and enlarge the public views by passing them through the medium of a chosen body of citizens whose wisdom may best discern the true interest of their country, and whose patriotism and love of justice will be least likely to sacrifice it to temporary or partial considerations. So remember, I told you that the phrase to refine and enlarge the public views, we'll hear that again in the near future. Okay, I'll continue reading this. Under such a regulation, it may well happen that the public voice pronounced by the representatives of the people will be more consonant to the public good than if pronounced by the people themselves. Convened for that purpose, consonant to the public good. It's more conducive. It works best for the public good. So again, he's still describing a republic where you choose enlightened individuals that are known both by their wisdom and also by the love of their country to carry the work of government, to on your behalf do what's best for you, your community, and the future of the people. And when it says convened for that purpose, convene, people get together. So the word convention comes from the word convene. Remember, they went to the Federal Convention in Philadelphia, the Constitutional Convention. They wrote the Constitution. Then they sent it to the states so that the states, in a ratifying convention, again the word convention from to convene, in ratifying conventions they decide whether this Constitution is good for them or not. So that's where the word convention come from. On the other hand, the effect may be inverted. Men of factious tempers, of local prejudices, or of sinister designs may, by intrigue, by corruption, or other means, first obtain the suffrages and then betray the interests of the people. The question resulting is whether small or extensive republics are most favorable to the election of proper guardians of the public weal, and it is clearly decided in favor of the latter by two obvious considerations. So we're proposing, or we're just asking you indirectly, whether a small republic would be good for you or a large. And he answers his own question. He says, we think the latter, a large republic, would be best for you. And he finishes the paragraph by saying, by two obvious considerations. So he's going to give you two reasons. Two reasons this thing has been considered and agreed upon, that a large republic is better. So, in the first place, so this is reason number one. In the first place, it is to be remarked that however small the republic may be, the representatives must be raised to a certain number in order to guard against the cabals of a few. And that however large it may be, they must be limited to a certain number in order to guard against the confusion of the multitude. Hence, the number of representatives in the two cases not being in proportion to that of the constituents, and being proportionally greatest in the small republic, it follows that if the proportion of fit characters be not less in the large than in the small republic, the former will present a greater option, and consequently a greater probability of a fit choice. Excuse me. So, if a larger republic is a larger land, a larger community, if it has a larger number of people, bigger population in it, then in that large area you're going to find wise and informed people that will be the best judge, best people for you to elect as your representatives, rather than a small state, because they'd realize that in some of these small states, a small group of men could pretty much control a lot, and a lot of times the small group of men were not necessarily wise. So that's one of the things he's talking about, and we'll come back to this, just review it a little bit more. And in the next paragraph, in the next place, as each representative will be chosen by a greater number of citizens in the large than in the small republic, it will be more difficult for unworthy candidates to practice with success the vicious art by which elections are too often carried, and the suffrages of the people, being more free, will be more likely to center on men who possess the most attractive merit and the most diffusive and established character. So when you live in a large area, more people are deciding on who is fit for office, who has got the characteristics to be in the office. So the chances are that you will be wiser in your decision. You will choose the right person for this decision. And at the same time, it discourages what he says, people that unworthy candidates that should not even be considered, as candidates. They're not good. To practice with success the vicious arts by which elections are too often carried. Vicious, remember the word vice I told you? Something that's against virtue, something that's against what is good for the public. So when he says vicious, it comes from that word vice. So related to that, the vicious art, the art and manipulation that will be for people who manipulate for vicious reasons, for reasons that are not good for the community. And also when it says the most diffusive and established characters, these are characters, people that are well known in that large area. They're known not just by small group in one area, but they're known in that large area. And he says the chances are that these people will make great candidates as your delegates, as people that you will choose as your representatives. All right, we shall return in the next video and read some more of this Federalist number 10.